And welcome to Rise Up, where we interview experts from different fields for teens. Today, we have a very highly innovative guest, Mr. Fermin Sandoval. Welcome. Well, Mr. Fermin
Hey,
Sandoval is a senior engineering manager and global subject matter expert for static equipment at DOW Inc. And for those of you who don't know about DOW Chemicals, Dow Chemical is an American chemical plastic manufacturer that is one of the world's leading agricultural supplier of chemicals, plastics, synthetic fibers, and agricultural products, according to Britannica, ranking number 78 on the Fortune 500 and numerous other awards, with a revenue of $43 billion and approximately 36,500 employees. So first of all, let me just say thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Sandoval. I really appreciate it, and I'm pretty sure teens around the world do too.
no problem, Malik. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Awesome. So let's get right into it. We'll start off with Dow. In terms of who does Dow actually supply chemicals to in terms of size?
So for example, I just want to give you a little background of Dow. So we have more than 30,000 employees. As you just mentioned, revenue is above $40 billion per year. And we have manufacturing sites in more than 30 countries. And we provide businesses and services to more than 100 countries in the world.
Wow.
So we provide chemicals pretty much to everybody. So agriculture, medical supplies, automotive, aerospace. I think, we are everywhere.
Wow. So just to summarize, that doesn't, meaning in Dow, you have people from many different specializations, from many different fields, just in Dow.
Yes, yeah. So for example, we have pretty much all the majors in a university. So we have engineering field. We have mechanical engineers, civil engineers, electrical engineers, instrumentation engineers, chemical engineers, process engineers. So pretty much all the engineering fields. And then we have finance, accounting. We also have medical professionals in our facilities. So I think every field in a knowledge arena, we have persons. We have persons that are subject matter experts in their own field. So it's a very, very large company and also a very global company. So we have people from all backgrounds. We have people from all countries. So it's a very excellent company to work with.
Wow. And what about you? We know about so many different fields in Dow, but what exactly do you do?
Okay, so it is an interesting question. So my role is a senior engineering manager within Dow and a global subject matter expert in you can say like in refining equipment. So what do I do? So I have three main roles in Dow. One is for capital equipment, and for capital projects. Like let's say that we decide to start and design, construct a new chemical plant in Brazil. So within Dow, we have several engineering disciplines that will start working on the plants, blueprints, process conditions for the plant, whatever is the plant. So we're going to be producing, let's say, ethylene glycol or any chemical. So we started working on that, and that's the portion of my role that is a capital project. So I work with the local engineers and some of the regional center engineers. We develop the blueprints, they develop the blueprints, and in some instances, they have technology that they can't or they are not available to work with. So that's when I come in hands. So I provide support for some of the difficult problems for a particular refinery, for a particular chemical plant. So that's one of the roles, working on capital brand new plants.
Mm-hmm.
And another role in that arena, it is to develop new technologies. So for example, DOW, every year we try to develop new technologies that can help us bringing new products to the table. So some of those new technologies not currently available in any part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I also help develop that technology, and that new technology usually it is going to be patented. So we have several inventions. We have a lot of know-how for new technology. So that's one of the roles. And then for existing plants, let's say in India, in Chennai, we have some plants. They have a problem in their refinery, in their chemical plant. They call regional centers, and then if the regional centers are not able to provide support, then that's when I come to help those sites. So I provide support to existing plants, let's say that is in Argentina, China, Turkey, Mexico, the United States. If they have some problems during their operations day to day, I provide support to them as well. So that's my second role for what I do. And the third role that I do is that with some commercial folks, we serve as a team that manage suppliers. So suppliers for refineries, I provide support in managing those suppliers, or to approve new suppliers into our approved list within DOW.
Wow. Wow. So just to summarize a bit, you work globally in terms of you interact with different cultures and in different languages, and you help them build these I forgot, refineries, is it?
Yeah. I think that the word refinery is
Mm-hmm.
pretty broad, and for people that don't have experience or they haven't seen a chemical plant is similar in concept for a refinery. So it's a large industrial plant that we provide
Wow.
our products with.
Wow. Awesome. So you help make these plants, and then after them, you help with any innovations or anything that needs to be made better, I guess you can say. I believe you mentioned patents in there. So
Yes.
what exactly are patents, and how many do you have?
Yeah, so it's very interesting. A patent is just one of a legal vehicle for
Mm-hmm.
a company or a person to develop know-how and to protect that know-how. So for
Mm-hmm.
example, I come up with something novel, something new that is not there, and I want to use it. So for me to protect my idea, for some other company not to use it and profit from it, then I patent it. And basically, countries, the European Union, for example, China, the US, Russia, and different countries, they have their own patent office,
Mm-hmm.
and they develop these processes in which you go there and you mention, okay, I want to use my invention and I want to be named as the inventor, and I
Mm-hmm.
want that invention to be protected so I can profit from the revenues of that invention. There are other vehicles out there that you can use, like copyright as well, trade secrets. Some
Mm-hmm.
trade secrets are also very important. Trade secrets are also a vehicle. They are a little different than a patent, but
Mm-hmm.
basically a patent is a permit to use your invention and to be able to profit of it. In regards to how many inventions I have, patents, right now I have more than 11, and I'm working on another 11 more patents in the next couple of years.
Wow. Wow. So just to summarize a bit, patents are basically innovations or inventions that you yourself make. And then they have to be filed in offices throughout these continents, throughout several continents, to make sure that they are known as your inventions. And you have 11 of them. Wow.
Yes, that's correct.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I'd like to shift the focus now a little more onto you. I'd like to go through your journey, basically. So let's start from the beginning. What attracted you into this industry? And the reason I ask is to see what kind of hobbies an expert like yourself has, which can be similar to and hobbies that maybe I have, which then I can relate to saying that, hey, maybe this is a good job for me.
Yes. So I think there are a couple of questions there. So the main one is what attracted me to this industry. And one of the things that is interesting is that sometimes we believe that life, it is straightforward, but I think that in some cases life takes you to different paths. In particular industry, probably I'm not sure if I was attracted to this particular industry. What I was attracted to was to science. So science, math, that's one of the things that I was very attracted when I was younger. So another of my passions when I was younger was reading. Reading books. I was reading. I was going through books like there is no tomorrow. I really enjoyed reading. So, for example, Jules Verne, a science fiction writer from a couple of centuries ago. Their books are amazing, and so I started reading. I think my first book was The Mystery Island by him. I think that I was around 7 years old, and I read the book and I didn't stop. Wow. So answering your question, hobbies or things that I used to do. So I like to read. I used to read more. I was very good at math. I was very good at wanting to know more. So math, physics, science was a passion of me.
Wow.
And then in the industry, I was not. I think that at the beginning I was looking forward to the nuclear industry or aerospace. But in industry, I think that in engineering, the good thing about engineering is that you can pursue different industries.
That's true. That's true. Well, that's awesome. So you were more of a STEM person with a curiosity, a passion for learning and wanting to learn. And out of that, you went into engineering, I believe, and which opened up a lot of doors for you.
That's correct.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Awesome. So let's move on to more of a general question on how would students know if they're fit for your particular industry or business? And the reason I'm asking is so that students can start building a profile from early on or know if they are fit for this kind of industry.
Yes. Gosh, that's a very difficult question. I think that I think one of the things that I believe you have to be true to yourself. You want to. I will say that you have to follow your passions. So find the passion that you have, follow it. Usually, when you try to work in your strengths, that's probably when you are better at. So if you have some things that might be considered as your weakness, I mean, obviously you need to work on them or you want to work on them. But if you enjoy something and you have a passion and you are good at it and you work on those things that are your strength, might be easier for you to develop those into the next level, and then truly take advantage of that.
Awesome. And what about as a businessman? As a businessman, who would look like an ideal person for the job?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So I think as an employee or as a collaborator for our company, we're looking for somebody that is eager, that has a curiosity, that wants to learn, and that is truthful. So I think that those attributes will be very helpful for somebody want to get into a job or a field. I think if you are truthful to yourself, you have a passion, and you are not afraid of taking challenges. I think those are some of the attributes that I would consider for a collaborator in our company.
Wow. Wow. So while we are on the topic of this company and learning, I believe I read something about Six Sigma. Now, what might Six Sigma be?
Yeah, you know what? It's one of the tools. It's one of the many tools that we have right now in the industry. And one of the things about Six Sigma is that Six Sigma as a tool, as a process, can be used in pretty much all the industries. So it is a way of doing things better. It is a way of doing things in a continuous improvement manner. So, and it is it's a set of guidelines. So for example, in DOW, we do have a very strong process in Six Sigma. And thanks to that process, we have been working with that program more than a decade now. So more than 10 years now. And we have been able to save the company hundreds of millions of dollars by cutting waste, by trying to improve things in a constant basis. So basically, it's a continuous improvement program. And several companies, they have their own program of Six Sigma in which you can be trained, you can be aware, and you can become an expert. But yeah, basically Six Sigma, you can have Six Sigma program in a hospital. You can have Six Sigma program in the aerospace industry. You can have Six Sigma program in politics. So for example, your local government might want to standardize, might want to improve in a continuous manner their processes, the way we pay our licenses, driver licenses, and so on. Pretty much Six Sigma can be used in all of those settings. Wow. So in a nutshell, it's just a continuous improvement process. And there are some other companies there that you can go. Your local community college might offer some classes. Some of the main universities in the U.S. Here in the Houston area, you might want to go to University of Houston, some other community college, and you can learn about Six Sigma.
Wow, awesome. So Six Sigma is basically a process which people from many different industries, in fact, all industries, can follow to make work more efficient and better.
That's correct. In a nutshell, yes.
Wow. And in fact, anyone can go get a degree in this, right? In fact, if I wanted right now myself, I could go to, say, as you stated before, a community college or Purdue University or U of H, any of those, and get myself a degree on that.
Yeah, that would be it'll be a certification. Yeah, there'll be a certification, and they have different levels, and different companies, they have different settings, but usually they go with a martial art types of settings. So for example, if you're going to, it's a little bit interesting, you know. So for example, if you want to start learning, you might want to get a yellow belt. Some companies follow the same format, and some companies, they have more belts. Usually you go and do the green belt and black belt. That's the main thing. Other companies out there, online training companies, they might offer more colors. So you can start with yellow belt, you can start with green belt, red belt, black belt, but basically they are certification levels.
Wow.
And then you can spend some time and you can look those type of training facilities or training seminars in online. Nowadays with the COVID-19, I think that you can do that online and without any problem.
Wow, that's awesome. And now I'd move on to more on I'd like to move to more of advice, right? As you are a huge level, right? And you've climbed so quick, and you've seen a journey of not only yourself but your peers, beside you. So what would be one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self with your current knowledge? And the reason I'm saying this is so many teens in the future, or so many people now, might be facing the same problems that you faced back then. So with your current knowledge, what would be something that would be good for them?
Yes, I think that they might not be a hard knowledge, like for example, going to engineering or get yourself into finance or one of those. But I think a piece of advice that I would give myself will be to, I think that the main thing will be to remember that things will change.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that things will change. Who you are right now is not who you will be in the next week. So if things are a little bit bleak,
Mm-hmm.
if things are a little bit problematic right now, things always change. One of the things about life is that there is always a constant change. So I would say that to my younger self. What you are right now in high school, what you're right now in middle school, you will not be the same person when you are in college, when you are in your career. And another thing that I would say is that follow your passion. And if you have a passion,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that can be a little bit more philosophical is that life is a very finite life.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we know is that life has a time frame.
Right.
So with that in mind, you have to have that in mind. You have to have plans and you have to have goals. Just remember that again, life has a finite time frame. Follow your passions.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Remember that things are going to be different, and usually the things are going to be different for the good.
Mm-hmm.
So things, if you have a huge problem or a problem, problems will go away. They will get better. So you remember you have a test and you're studying and you get nervous about it, and then you take the test and you feel better about it. So
Yeah.
it's similar to life, yeah, and you can see that yourself too as well.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. So what I kind of got from that was having a plan, following your passion, but with having a plan being the same amount of flexibility in order to change with how time is taking you and how your surroundings are taking you.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
exactly, yeah. I mean, for example, a plan can be, I'm gonna finish high school, or
Right.
I'm gonna go to the university of your choice,
Right.
uh, and then you need to start planning about it. What do I need to do to go to the university of my choice? So I think a plan is important. At the same time, just remember things will change. So you have a plan, and you have to have the mentality, open mind that that plan might be changing.
Yeah.
But again, just be positive, have a passion, and usually things will work out well.
Awesome. Awesome. In fact, just a quote came to mind right now. Good times become good memories and bad times become good lessons. So I feel like that would fit really well into this, and I think that would be a good thing. But while we're also on the topic of change and in the industry, um, I mentioned that you've been in the industry for quite a while. So actually, you've been in the industry for 2 decades, right? So how that is a long time for the industry to change. So how do you believe the industry has changed and is going to change now?
God, if you think about it, we have in this world for several million years as as living organisms.
Yes.
In the last let's think about it. Let's say that in the last 6,000 years,
Mm-hmm.
we have been doing similar things. agriculture, going to places more or less in the similar fashion. However, in the last couple of hundred years, the change has been very fast. We have been changing so fast. Again, one of the things that I want to drive here is that change is important. Change is good. Sometimes we are scared of change, but we need to see it as an ally. Change is good for us. So your question is important for the younger generations. So the fast-paced world that we are living right now, this is a unique time. Even 70 years ago, in most households, not only in the United States, but in India, in Latin America, you were not able to go to the kitchen, open the faucet, and have water. So we need to remember that. We need to remember that electricity, again, 70 years ago was not common. So right now, what we have is just barely common in the recent years. So change is coming very fast. So in the petrochemical industry, not only the petrochemical industry, but probably in all the industries, what it is going to be changed is going to be rapid prototyping. 3D printing, rapid prototyping is going to be, it is already a big deal. Artificial intelligence, it is a big deal. So simulations. So for example, 40, 50 years ago, if I were to simulate how a behavior of a reactor occurs, it will be pretty difficult. Now with supercomputers, with clusters of computers, we can simulate things in the physical world that we can do it in a computer, in a frame, in a mainframe. We don't have to test. We don't have to experiment that in the real world. We can have several iterations of something. We can see how it's going to behave. And then once we know the behavior, we can take it to the real world. So I think that what you're saying, no? So it's going to be rapid prototyping, artificial intelligence, simulation. And then another thing that is particular to our industry, and we are taking it from the automotive industry and from the aerospace industry, is creating modules. So if you go and see refineries or chemical plants, you will see tall towers, reactors, pipe racks, and that's custom made. So that's custom made. It takes a lot of time. But if we think about it, and if we can produce modules, modules of something that can be interchangeable, that can be produced in a smaller components, that is going to be the next big change in the industry.
Wow. Yeah, that is definitely some radical change. But aside from all this job and this industry and all, as a person, what kind of mindset did you start off with, and has that changed in any way?
Probably yes. Yeah, I think that has changed, but I think that the main mindset that I was when I was your age or younger was that, for example, in my perspective, education was always important. Education was one of the main things, one of the main drivers for me to be in the US or to be traveling to different countries, no? And that's been, I think, very positive, knowing what you want and have a drive to succeed. So being competitive, having good grades, knowing that good grades and education, they were going to be opening doors. So I think that being driven, competitive, at least in my particular case, that worked very well for me in my mindset. And I think one of the things also, try to be positive, try to remain try to be positive.
Awesome. So overall, your main focus was on ever growing knowledge, on continuing to learn and focusing on what you were doing at that time. And if things were not going a little well, you focused on the positive, if not the negative and all. That's a great thing. That's a great quality to have for sure. And it's a hard quality to have for sure. You know, but yeah, I do believe so in that myself. At least trying to stay as positive as possible. But
Exactly.
sometimes we are not able to. So how do you deal with the health aspect of this job, as maintaining these plants and making plants is
Sorry, Malik, something
so
happened.
it's all right.
It
Can
was
you hear me
it
now?
was like yeah, I can hear you well. It was a phone call. Sorry.
Oh, no problem, no problem. So how do you deal with the health aspect of this job, as obviously it's quite a challenging task and quite a stressful task at that too.
Yes, it is interesting. I think that stressful wise, yeah, it is, but I like it. I
Hmm.
like the challenge. I like the fast pace. I like being challenged. I like being able to provide answers to my clients, to my internal clients in the company. And yeah, I think, I mean, obviously it's challenging, but and it's stressful, but I thrive in that. I thrive in deadlines. I like that. I like when I'm able to solve a problem, when I'm able to provide a
Hmm.
solution to my customers.
Hmm.
So how I deal with it, I enjoy it. I enjoy what I do a lot. I don't consider it as a job.
Hmm.
I think that it is interesting because I love what I'm doing. And
Wow.
so, yeah, I don't mind putting a lot of hours. I don't mind sometimes staying up late
Hmm.
and resolving issues, because in some instances, there are people waiting for answers in the plant. When the plant is down, when they are not producing pounds of product, we have to provide answers so they can start producing. I think that's one of the things. I don't know. Probably I didn't answer your question, because
Oh
how do
no.
I deal with the stress?
Hmm.
I like what I'm doing. I think that probably dealing with the stress, I like to read. I like
Hmm.
to spend time with my family, so that
Hmm.
helps me reducing my stress. And another thing is that I like to play chess. So
Oh
I play
wow.
chess with the computer. I play chess with friends, family. So I think that having that type of outlet helps a lot.
Wow, that's awesome. And actually, I believe that's one of the greatest things. If you don't consider your job work and you enjoy it, it definitely reduces stress by a lot. So that would be an important thing, following your passion in those terms. And apart from that, we definitely have to play chess.
Of
and
course.
and finally, to end off with this one last question, or these two last questions, um, what, if anything, will you be changing something post COVID-19? And the reason being is that throughout COVID-19, people have been locked up in their houses and they've had the chance to reflect on some previously buried things. So whether that be for work or personal life, so is there something that you'd be changing?
Yes, yeah, for sure. I will, and I think that I'm doing it right now.
Hmm.
So trying to spend more time with my family and my
Hmm.
friends. Well, let me rephrase it. So right now we cannot spend physical time with friends and family that are now living with us, for example.
Right.
But having more teleconferences, having more quality time. So
Hmm.
uh, I think that one of the things that I have seen or I have heard out there is that memories, you cannot hug memories. So
Right.
I think that small phrase is very powerful. So if you think about it, your parents, your sister, your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's important to spend time with them because at the end of the day, you create memories and they are great. But if you have them, if you are surrounded by those loved ones, it is important to spend some time. So one of the things that I will be changing after or right now in COVID-19 is spending more time, quality time with
Mm-hmm.
your loved ones.
So not only quality time, but quantity time. Awesome. That's great to hear. And finally, I'd just like to end off with one thing. And this is purely as I am a high schooler and a teenager. So this is definitely something that comes to mind. Do yourself have, time for fun and all?
Uh, yes. So I think that, pre-COVID-19, what
Mm-hmm.
we used to like to do was going walks and traveling. So
Wow.
we used to, I used to travel a lot for work.
Uh-huh.
And when time it was, permitted, I used to bring some of my wife and my kids to the different places that I used to travel. So I think that enjoying different aspects of other cultures, other countries, that was important for us. So
Wow.
for fun, I think try to experience new things, new foods, new books, trying to develop interest for new things so you can broaden your perspective.
Awesome. So thank you once again, Mr. Sandoval, for being here and for helping not only me, but so many other teens gain insight on not only your job, DOW, but maybe how to manage yourselves and have a plan. So for all of those things, I am grateful, and I'm pretty sure many other teens are as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Malik. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.